boy, really proud of our team. Like we mentioned last week, I thought it was a really good team effort. I thought we had some really good efforts in all three phases of the game. That was the difference in the game. That has allowed us, the way they've kept working, to have won our last 4 out of 6 games. So I feel like we're building a little bit of momentum that moves us to 4-2 in the conference and 3-1 at home. So, like we mentioned earlier a couple weeks ago, our guys continue to improve. We're getting better each week, and it's starting to show. And we're overcoming some adversity, and to say the least, the other night, offensively, we were without Grant Horst, Keenan Barnes, Mike Jaquette, Jordan Wright, Levi Lewis, Chase Rogers. That's a pretty good group of guys that you're playing without, and some other guys were able to step in, and perform at a high enough level for us to win the football game. And defensively, we was out without basically our top 2 tacklers in Posey when he went down, and then Corey Turner. And so obviously we hope to have most of those guys back this week. That will be a big shot in the arm moving forward as we get ready for a Georgia Southern team that really seems to may have found itself with a big win this past week over South Alabama. That was an impressive victory, to say the least. When you watch that tape, they totally dominated that game from start to finish. If you go back and you look at their schedule and you look the way they've played within conference, they've already played every team in the conference that only has 1 loss. So that means they've played 4 teams in the conference that are all tied for first place. They've already played every one of those guys. And so they have had a tough conference schedule. And when you go back and you look and you see the way those games have flowed, they were highly competitive in those games. A couple of those games could have went either way. So this football team's got really good players. We know that because we played them last year. And so they've got good players. And so you can tell right now that they're putting it together. And now, they're going to have a little momentum coming to Cajun Field. So our guys are going to have a great week of practice as we prepare to get ready to protect Cajun Field this Saturday. Their offense, if you look at what they do, everybody talks about, well, they're triple option. I heard somebody mention they're triple option like Georgia Tech. Well, they're nothing like Georgia Tech. They're a gun option team like a lot of people are, but they add the extra dimension when they bring the receiver around in orbit motion for the pitch. And so they're a gun option football team. They're not under center. They're a gun option football team, but they're very good at it. They know exactly what they want to do. And they have a really good scheme that allows their quarterback to make a lot of plays. And they've got 2 quarterbacks that are playing with Wirtz and Brown. They've got speed. They've got speed at the running back position, at the receiver position, especially at the quarterback position. You've got to make sure that you cover each one of those guys and cover those guys down, because they can hurt you really quickly. They lead the conference in rushing, and so that's always a concern because they can churn out the clock, and before you know it, you look up and the half is gone, and you hadn't had very many possessions. And so obviously that is also a concern. So they're a football team defensively that's got a lot of size up front. If y'all remember Big Sapp, seemed like he's been there forever. He's the big D lineman last year that blocked one of our punts. So they're big up front. I think they have an active front 7, and they play hard. And so it's definitely going to be a challenge for our guys. Our guys know that. We had a great team meeting last night. And then obviously we'll move forward with practice tomorrow, getting ready for the Eagles for Saturday. So any questions?
What is there on their defense to potentially exploit? What can you exploit?
That's what we're trying to figure out right now. We just started breaking them down yesterday. Like I said, their front 4 are active. They're big. They're hard to move. I mean, you talk about Sapp, he looks like he's probably 330. So they've got big guys up front. It's hard to get a lot of movement with those guys. Their linebackers run well. They've made some changes. When I was watching the games, it looks like they've made some changes in the secondary from the beginning of the season with personnel till now. So that's sort of been evident there. And it must be working for them because they've been really competitive as of late. And so, but that's what we're breaking down right now. Well, the best way to defend any type of option is you've got to defend all options. You know, you've got to take away the dive, the running back, and you got to take away the quarterback, and then also if they bring somebody around, you got to have somebody for the pitch. So that spreads your defense thin. So you got to make sure you tackle in open field, in the open field with maybe one guy who's designated for the pitch, for the quarterback. And so that makes it always a challenge. And if you don't have somebody for each one of them, then you're going to have a big play. So that creates the option part of it.
Does that kind of help out having someone like maybe Jordan Davis, like in terms of like quick?
Well, you know, we run some read option, not as much as they do, and not quite as dynamic as they run it, but we do run read option. So we'll be able to give our defense a little bit of a look this week and try to service them a little bit so we can get the speed of the game reps, not just the scout team. So luckily we do some of that. We'll just have to add a few other dimensions that they do because they do it awfully well, and they're well coached, and so you can tell, and they've got good players.
Quarterback's going to split reps with the ones, and you wait to the end of the week, or what?
As far as our quarterbacks, yeah, they're going to split reps with the ones, and we'll sort of see how Levi is progressing this week and see if he gets back to 100% for this week. I really anticipate him to, considering he was really close Saturday. So I really would think another 6 days, then he would probably, you wouldn't think, have too many ill effects at all.
Did Jordan earn it, even if Levi is 100%?
You know what? He played awfully well, but you know, I anticipate, you know, if let's say Levi was completely healthy, I see us playing them both. Don't know who's going to get the start, but Jordan definitely showed a lot of poise. I thought he played really well and deserves to get some playing time, if not start. So I'm not saying either way, but you can look for both of them to play if they're healthy.
You said you hope to get most of your injured guys back.
Yep, Jordan Wright will not return. He's got a broken arm. He'll have surgery this week. I expect a full recovery. Hope to have him back early and in January, not too late as we begin all-season workouts. Grand Horse will return, and that's what we were told today. If everything goes as planned, he will return. Keenan Barnes, we think, will return. Mike Jacquette, we think, will return, and Levi Lewis, and then Corey Turner. And so, yes, and Posey, yeah, and Posey will return too. So the only question marks, if I had any question mark on the board, it would be Keenan Barnes, but everybody else should be fully recovered, and we're very hopeful for Keenan.
You mentioned Georgia Southern's run game probably been one of their most, if not their most consistent aspect that they've presented all year. What do their guys, Words and Fields, kind of present to the defenses out of that backfield?
Well, one, anytime you're an option quarterback and you pull it, when you're doing the zone read and you pull it, he's got the speed to circle the field, but if they block the perimeter, he can put the foot in the ground and get vertical and just churn up yardage. And he can make you miss in the open field too. But also too, though, if you watch him in the last couple of weeks now, he has been a very good passer off of play action. He's made some really good throws down the field, and that's the thing I think he's probably underappreciated for is, from what I've seen, I think he throws the ball well. And so that creates some problems with play action. You get too many people rolling down to stop the run, and then they get somebody behind you. So that always is a concern with option football teams.
And being a one away from being bowl eligible, is that something that even has been said, or do the guys just understand how important it is?
Yeah, these guys, they know what's at stake. All we talk about is the next game. And this game for us is big because it's a home game for us. It's a conference game. They know the importance riding on this game. And to be honest with you, too, you've got a team coming in. And to be honest with you, South Alabama, this game probably helped our kids focus for this game, seeing that they, played as well as they did against South Alabama, a team that, we had to take it to the end to win. And they won it for 52-0. So I think that was a wake-up call for everybody that's playing this team from here on out. That you better get your team ready to play against these guys, because they definitely look like they're playing much better.
You mentioned the word underappreciated a minute ago. How underappreciated is Darius Hodges?
Oh, very. And that guy, he's been a senior. He's been that role player for so long. And whenever he gets the opportunity, he always makes the most of it. Darius not only had some nice runs the other night, he did a great job in protection. And I was just really proud for the kid. He deserves the playing time that he gets. And he'll continue to be a big factor, considering Jordan right now is not going to be able to go. And that just moves Raymond Kale up. So Raymond definitely will get some playing time this week, and we've been trying to work him in, but just it's just so many of them, and you get into the flow of the game. Sometimes it's hard to put him back into the game that's cold, that hadn't played an awful lot, and so you go with the two-man rotation, and maybe the third guy gets a few reps, and that's sort of where we've been.
Anything else, guys?
Go ahead. He did. Yeah, we saw Eli at the team hotel. He came. I think, matter of fact, he was staying at our team hotel, so all the guys got to see Eli. So that was good to see. He looked lean, looked fast, and so it was good to see him. And the rest of a lot of the guys that played here in the last few years all came back for homecoming. It was great seeing a lot of people back for homecoming, and glad to get that win for everybody.
Having two quarterbacks like you have right now, who can start? Do you like this type of situation, or would you rather have one guy who's the guy? What
do you think?
I like the two.
Oh, do you? No. Yeah, I think you always would rather have, you want to know who your starter is, and that's sort of been this year. It's just been tough because every time you think you get settled in on the guy that looks like he's ready to be the guy, he gets injured, just like Jordan Davis. We think he's sort of going to be the guy. He got injured at Texas A&M. Took him a while to come back, and through the process, it sort of looked like that Andre Nunez, after the performance at Louisiana Monroe, since Jordan was injured, it looked like, hey, man, here's another guy that showed that he could be the starter and can perform at a high level, and then obviously he gets hurt. And then obviously we moved to Levi to give him that opportunity. And then once again, that's three quarterbacks that showed that, hey, you know what, this guy played really well, led our team to a victory against South Alabama, created a lot of big plays, played well against Ole Miss until he got injured. And then, he got injured. So, I'll give Will Hall a lot of credit. Man, the guy has developed three quarterbacks to play at a high level this year. He's had to navigate through that. And that's not the easiest thing in the world, especially when it's all due to injuries. And who can play, who's available. And each week having somebody ready to go. And for us to lead the conference in fewest turnovers, to be number one in fewest turnovers, playing three different quarterbacks in this situation, to me, that says a lot about our offensive coaches to be able to do that, considering we've had so much turnover and transition at the quarterback position and be one of the fewest penalized teams. So to me, that says a lot about our coaches, the way they prepared our guys and the way our guys are accepting whoever's in the game. They're all playing for whoever's in the game, and that's the way our team is right now. They're very unselfish, and they're working awfully hard.
Anything else?
Is Stevie healthy?
Yep, Stevie's 100% healthy.